As everyone knows by now, the Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson era only lasted one season before he was fired, and the Broncos brought in former Saints coach and future Hall of Famer Sean Payton. But what did the rest of this offseason and the rest of this roster look like? Let's get into it. After a season that saw a lot of career lows, and we all remember the Thursday night game, Russell Wilson looks poised to bounce back with Sean Payton. Sean Payton and Russell Wilson will fit together like a glove. Russell Wilson will fit this offense, and he'll run it how Sean Payton wants it to be run. We're seeing NFL players and athletes all over the world, and particularly quarterbacks, play longer and at a higher level as they age. I don't believe what we saw last season will be the future for Russell Wilson. I believe he'll get back to the median, and while, yes, he is aging, he will get back to the winning player and the winning football player that we know and have come to know as his times in Seattle. While, yes, this is a different situation than we've ever seen. We've never seen Russell Wilson with a coach like Sean Payton. I believe this will be perfect for Russell Wilson at this point in time in his career. One of the more underrated running back rooms, in my opinion, are in Denver. And it's Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine, but right now let's focus on Javonte Williams. Before he went down with his injury last season, he was averaging 4 yards per carry, which is what he averaged his rookie season. Out of North Carolina, he quickly overtook that Denver lead back role and just continue to produce. Unfortunately, he had his injury last season, and I think that was a lot to do with what happened with Denver's offense last year is they really didn't have a consistent run game after Javonte went down. Javonte Williams is a really good running back. I think NFL fans know, obviously Bronco fans know, and fantasy players know this as well. Javonte Williams and the Sean Payton offense will work. A lot of people think that Sean Payton just wants to pass the ball around, as we've seen like the big numbers with Drew Brees. But at his core, Sean Payton likes to establish a run game to work into the play action. And Javonte Williams will allow the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton to do that. The Denver Broncos went out and signed Bengals backup running back Samaje Perine. And Samaje Perine developed in Cincinnati to be a really good pass pro and a really good third down back, and just a guy that Joe Burrow could trust to be there on the check down if the deep stuff was not available. Samaje Perine developed a good relationship with Burrow, and that knowing that he needs to be in the right spot for Burrow on those check downs, and I believe he'll do the same in Denver and for Russell Wilson. Kendall Hilton, KJ Hamler, Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and with the addition of Marvin Mims, the Denver Broncos have one of the deepest receiver rooms in the league. Obviously, the star in this is Jerry Jeudy, as last year, as I've stated in a previous video before, really saw the breakout and the coming out party for Jerry Jeudy. But I think this year will be something that he can build on, as Sean Payton in his career has always found a way to get the ball to good route runners and big body receivers. And the Broncos have 3 of those, and Jerry Jeudy, in my opinion, has some of the best footwork at the receiver position in the NFL, let alone the AFC. Jerry Jeudy, I think, will have a role a lot like Michael Thomas. And a lot of people make jokes about Michael Thomas and calling him Slant Boy, but there's a reason for that. Yes, he runs a lot of short routes, but it's because that's a way for Sean Payton to run his offense to get his stars and his playmakers the ball. I imagine we'll see some of that in the same with Jerry Jeudy this season, as we'll see Jerry Jeudy's numbers skyrocket to something that we just haven't seen from him yet in his short NFL career. And with him entering a contract year, that's also some extra motivation for him, but I believe he'll officially become the unequivocally number 1 receiver in Denver. Tim Patrick missed the whole entire season last year, so he's coming back this year off of an injury. And I don't think people realize how big of a loss that was, as he's a key receiver and has been a key guy in this Broncos offense. And with him coming back, it's another target for Russell Wilson. And for Russell Wilson not to have to create as much in the play in that rhythm of this Sean Payton offense. Since he was drafted out of Missouri, Broncos fans have been waiting for that Albert O breakout. And with him being the number 1 tight end this season, if it's ever going to happen, it's going to be this year in this offense. And he's always a big body, good athleticism guy, but just hasn't really broken out. Some part due to injuries, some part just not seeing the ball. But we'll see if Albert O can officially take that leap in that step forward this season. The Broncos also have second-year tight end Greg Dulcich, who had a very nice rookie season and became a guy that Russell Wilson could trust. And with weapons everywhere, and as I alluded to earlier in Tim Patrick coming back, you might see his targets go down, but he still has the ability to make the play when the ball is in his hands. The Broncos also went out and got Adam Trotman, who Sean Payton drafted in New Orleans, so he obviously knows the system. So there won't be any adjustment period, and he'll just be a solid guy that you can put out there to either block in the run game or to make some plays in the passing game. The Broncos also solidified their offensive line by going out and signed Mike McGlinchey from the San Francisco 49ers, who was one of the more coveted offensive linemen on the market. and the Broncos won those sweepstakes. The Broncos also continue to have one of the best back ends in defense, with Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson at safety, and arguably the best corner in the sport, and Pat Surtain II. I want to focus on Pat Surtain a little bit more here, as he quickly, as soon as he was in the league, became one of the top lockdown, shutdown corners in the NFL. The Broncos trust him on an island at such a young age, and he is still such a young player that he's still got room to grow, which is incredible to think about with the heights that he's already reached. Pat Surtain has the ability, for when it's all said and done, and to not to be hyperbolic, but to be in that conversation with Darrelle Revis and Deion Sanders as one of the best to ever do it. And he's not even reached his second contract yet. So it's safe to say, with that draft pick a couple seasons ago, the Denver Broncos hit it out of the park. Randy Gregory was signed last season to help Bradley Chubb on the edges, and Bradley Chubb has since been sent to Miami, and Randy Gregory's season last season was cut short due to injury. He looks to bounce back this year and be a key contributor for this Broncos defense, as they will need to affirm him off the edge and getting to the quarterback. I also wanted to talk about their third-round pick, Drew Sanders, out of Arkansas, who was one of my favorite players out of this draft. He's a linebacker, or should I say, a defensive player. He can play inside linebacker, or he can rush off the edge. And it's clear that the Broncos, with this pick, were looking for someone that could just be a playmaker on defense and help to solidify this defense and help Randy Gregory off the edge and help their secondary, and someone that can either make plays at the linebacker position or can get to the quarterback so their secondary isn't having the guard for too long. And, well, I think Drew Sanders will fit perfectly. He might take some time in getting to where he's going to be as in terms of an NFL player, but I think before too long we'll see and be talking about Drew Sanders as a third-round steal for this Denver Broncos organization. And in case you've been living under a rock, Sean Payton is the head coach of the Denver Broncos. And, well, we're going to see a different Broncos team than what we did last season, especially on offense. Sean Payton's going to make sure his stars get the ball. He's going to establish a run game and get his guys the ball. And Russell Wilson will be able to play in flow and play in a rhythm that we've seen him do in Seattle. We didn't see much of it last year, as just last year was a weird season for Broncos, as we all said that they just needed the quarterback and they could take that next step, and that just didn't happen. But I believe we'll see that this year with the Sean Payton offense and the Sean Payton-led team, as Sean Payton is one of the best motivators in the NFL and has been for his whole entire coaching career. We've seen what he did with the Saints and turning that organization around, and I expect much more of him to do the same in Denver. As always, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and let me know down in the comments, where do you think the Broncos end up this year? Do you think they win the AFC West, or are they a wild card team, or do they just miss the playoffs completely? Let me know.